Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rahjes. On this week's program, we learn more about efforts to reach millennials when it comes to making a connection with beef. ELISA Harrison will join us. She's Senior Vice President of Global Marketing and Research with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. We also have features from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Farm Bureau, plus our weekly updates from the Kansas Livestock Association and Paragon Ag Advisors. Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com. In agricultural news from agview.net, the National Council of Farmer Cooperatives is optimistic that Internal Revenue officials will adjust the Section 199A tax break thanks to testimony from the Treasury Secretary. For more than 2 years, farmer cooperatives have been working to re-implement a tax deduction that's comparable to what they received before the 2017 tax law was passed. Last summer, the Treasury Department proposed rules that would limit the Section 199A deduction to patronage income. However, the Treasury rule would then eliminate cooperatives' ability to combine non-patronage income along with part of the calculations for that tax deduction. So the tax challenge came in light early in 2018 after it had first appeared in the 2017 tax law that would make it much more lucrative for farmers to sell their grain to farmer cooperatives rather than to private grain companies. Now, Congress fixed that provision, but the Treasury Department has been bogged down since then in trying to complete a rule that would go along with the tax fix. Because of the complex agreement that Congress passed, cooperatives got a special break under Section 199A because they could not take advantage of the new lower corporate rates. So the final deal that was supposed to then reinstate a tax break that cooperatives have been using before the 2017 tax law. Well, SY Monument is the top winter wheat planted variety in Kansas. It has seen a gradual increase in overall share in the state since 2015. It accounted for 9.7% of the state's 2020 planted acres. Zenda, which was new to the top 10 last year, the second most popular variety, 6.4%. Westbred Grainfield ranked third, 5.3%. The fourth most popular variety, Winterhawk, at 3.9%. Acres planted to Everest continues to decline, but remained in fifth place at 2.9%. Now, the area planted with blended varieties not included in the rankings by variety, but those blends accounted for 11.1% of the state's planted acreage, and that's down from 13.6% last year. Hard white varieties accounted for 4.2% of the state's acres, up from 3.7% a year ago. Joe, the leading hard white variety at 2.3%. The wheat variety project is funded by the Kansas Wheat Commission. And the Agricultural and Food and Policy Center at Texas A&M recently released a study highlighting the impact of those market facilitation program payments. When reviewing the impact of MFP 1 and 2, A&M discovered that the number of representative farms facing significant threat of a shortfall was reduced by over 30%. Furthermore, the payments made by MFP projected at $16.4 million of net worth over the 2018-20 study time period. The study also addressed claims of bias against MFP 2.0. The study finds the payments that made under MFP 1 and 2 had greater than a $41 billion positive impact on the broader rural economy. For more on these and other stories, go to agview.net. Stay with us. We have more coming up. Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Joining us now is ELISA Harrison, who is the Senior Vice President for Global Marketing and Research for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. And we've talked with ELISA over the years, and so it's kind of an update, but also kind of talk about what's in your world. And you do a lot of research focus and analysis of what's going on. And one of those things I want to kind of lead off talking about is it seems like over the last few months now, a couple years, everybody wants to be a protein, and so of course we think of maybe beef, pork, and then whatever's left, but now we've got all different shapes and sizes, literally.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that when you look at it took the food industry years to convince the nutrition and the doctors. The nutrition communicators and the doctors out there, the importance of protein in the diet. And because, there was a time when maybe protein wasn't recognized as such an important part. Well, now everybody embraces the important role of protein, whether it's the keto diet or paleo or, it's very high protein. So everyone jumped into that market. So we are seeing new plant-based products come to market that are trying to say that they're replacing meat as that top protein. And of course, our job at the Beef Checkoff, under the Beef It's What's for Dinner brand, which is what we promote, our whole goal is to make sure that beef stays the number one protein choice for consumers. And so we're talking to consumers, we're doing a lot of research, and consumers continue to have beef right up there at the top of that spectrum. Chicken, beef, are at that top. And then you go all the way down. There's probably 40 different choices of consumers today, all the way down to cricket powder. Yeah, I said cricket powder, and it's coming up. So these kind of insect powders and stuff like that. So there's just when you go to the grocery store, everybody is focusing on protein. Everything's gluten-free and it has protein in it, today. But when you look at really what consumers are buying, they still have a love affair with beef. Beef demand is high. We're selling more beef today than we have since 2012 at a higher price. So that demand is there and the consumers still love it. And even though there's more choices for consumers today, consumers are eating about the same amount of beef today than they were. Actually, they're eating more beef today than they were 5 years ago. And when you look at what millennials are eating, they're still eating beef. And if they are starting to include some of these meat alternatives, it's not taking away from beef's market share. But so our goal under the Beef It's What's for Dinner brand is to make sure that stays that way, and that it doesn't start to take away any of our market share. I think it's kind of 0.05% of these meat alternatives are in the marketplace today, and the rest is beef. So very small, but it's getting a lot of attention, a lot of discussion. What it has done is raised issues about how we produce food in this country, and particularly beef. Consumers, particularly millennials, have questions about how beef is produced. And so under the Beef is What's for Dinner brand, we've launched several programs over the last couple of years to do just that, be transparent and have the information available when they want it, how they want it, and in what form they want it.
I want to talk about that in just a little bit. So ELISA Harrison with NCBA, Beef is What's for Dinner, is joining us. Let's take a quick break. Be back with more in just a moment. The Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. And agview.net, serving the Beef Belt and Western Corn Belt with reliable and relevant agriculture information. agview.net.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families and rural Kansas for more than 100 years, and we're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
And joining us again today is ELISA Harrison with the National Academy of Beef Association, works on the Beef is What's for Dinner campaign, one of those iconic campaigns. So when we left, we were talking about getting a little bit about millennials and kind of the way they view, I guess, eating, and it's now it's all about experiences. It's all about other things. And I would guess, even though maybe it's not the right way to say it, but I'll just say it. The idea is to keep beef at the center of the plate. I know it's not politically correct maybe anymore, but making sure that as they have those experiences, beef is there more than maybe the others.
Sure. Our goal at under the Beef is What's for Dinner brand is to make sure that beef remains the top protein choice for consumers, including that millennial. And consumers and millennials alike love beef, and they do include it as their one of their top choices for protein. And when we look at the strength of that brand of Beef is What's for Dinner, it's very, very strong. It's been around for over 25 years, has a lot of equity. The beef industry is invested in it, and it resonates with the consumer today, just like it did 25 years ago. And so we've been trying to take that brand and associate it with all the questions that consumers have today. And they do want to know how their beef is produced. And what the good news is, we've got that information, and we've launched it through some of our campaigns. We just launched our Beef Quality Assurance campaign earlier this year. Have been out there just telling them about our beef quality assurance, and they've responded very, very well to that.
People are buying groceries or foodstuffs differently than they were maybe when you and I were growing up.
Sure, they are, and a lot of they're either buying it already prepared, they're buying it in the meal kits, whether at the retail or having it delivered to their home. But when you look at, on the food service side, the increase, I think I just saw the increase in home delivery from the food service through DoorDash or Grubhub, some of these delivery services has grown 34% just over the last year.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. We haven't seen any growth like that in that. So it's the convenience, it's on demand, it's I want it when I want it, how I want it. And so the beef industry has to make sure that we are providing the products in the way that they want to do it. And the number one challenge, I think, that we still have today with millennials and current consumers is how to cook beef and what the different cuts are, because we're so complex. There's so many different cuts in the meat case today. So what we've launched, especially for the millennials, they're very into their smartphones, they're using digital assistants. So earlier this year we launched Chuck Nose Beef, which is a digital assistant on Google Home and Alexa, so they can either text a question question, they can either use a voice or they can ask their Alexa or their home smart speaker and ask them, Chuck, how do I cook ground beef, or what's a recipe for tri-tip, to help them with the information that they have an information void on. And Chuck can also tell them how it's produced. They can tell them what the nutritional value is. They can talk about the sustainability story. So we're trying to make it an interactive engagement with consumers today.
Okay. ELISA Harrison with NCBA has joined us. Beef is what's for dinner. Stay with us, more in a moment.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Stacey M Martinez, Director of Industry Relations with Kansas Corn. We're really excited that March is Kansas Biofuel Month, just declared by the governor, and we're going to be celebrating a number of ways. We kicked it off here with the Kansas Corn-Fed Ethanol Seminar, where we have members of the industry, we have farmers, folks from start to finish here talking about what the ethanol industry means to the state of Kansas. Everything from ethanol that are going into our local retailers and Wichita Jumpstart stores to being exported all over the world from Brazil to Indonesia. And so we're really excited about today's turnout. We have about 60 folks that are here with us for a first time event. We're really happy with that. And then we're going to turn our efforts to going on a road trip across the state, celebrating with Casey's as one of our new fuel retail partners. We'll be everywhere from Galena to Hugoton. We'll be up at Smith Center in Seneca across the state. So we will have 13 different stops where we will be from 4 to 6 p.m. And on those days, we will be giving 15 cents off at E15 and helping folks know about what's in their fuel and how they can support Kansas farmers.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
The National Association of Wheat Growers annual wheat yield contest is now open until May 15th, with early registration ending on April 1st for the 2 winter wheat categories. The National Association of Wheat Growers yield contest allows for farmers to learn about other wheat management methods. This year's winners will be recognized at the 2021 Commodity Classic. In 2019, 2 Kansas farmers won in the wheat yield contest in 2 divisions: percent increase over county average and highest yield in the state. Rick Horton of Leota saw a 340% increase and had a yield of 132 bushels per acre. He used Westred's WB 4515 hard red winter wheat. Alec Horton of Leota saw a yield of 146.81 bushels per acre. He used Westred's WB 4792. Contestants must be NOG members, have a supervisor during harvest, and farmers must submit a harvest report. Fields must be 5 acres or larger to qualify. The wheat will be measured for plot length and width, moisture, weight, and yields and acres harvested will be calculated. The wheat sample will be evaluated for quality on wheat grade, protein level, 1,000 kernel weight, falling number, and dawn. There are 4 categories wheat will be sorted into: winter wheat dryland, winter wheat irrigated, spring wheat dryland, and spring wheat irrigated. Farmers must be 14 years of age or older and must enter as an individual. Multiple members of the family are allowed to enter but must enter separately. To find out more information about the wheat yield contest, list of acceptable supervisors, rules, and more qualifications, visit wheatworld.org.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Kansans have a new choice for Medicare supplement insurance plans. With Medicare supplement insurance plans from Kansas Farm Bureau, you have access to 4 levels of coverage, affordable rates, and service from an organization that's served Kansans for more than 100 years. For more information on Kansas Farm Bureau Medicare supplement plans, including rates and to apply, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
George Hunsinger took over the land he was raised on after his father and uncle passed away. Now, he and his wife Cheryl run a corn and soybean rotation, hay more than 200 acres, and have a small cow-calf operation. In 2016, they began planting 7 acres of sunflowers that is now open to the public. The couple is very involved in the Douglas County Farm Bureau. George is currently a board member and has served as president. Cheryl is the women's chair and has served as treasurer. George and Cheryl are very active in their community. George has served on the Douglas County Extension Board and the Douglas County Rural Water Board. He was also appointed to the Douglas County Fair Ground Improvement Committee. Cheryl is a past 4-H leader and currently volunteers with 4-H livestock auction registrations at the fair. She is also very involved with their church. The Hunsingers strive to keep an open mind with agriculture so that non-ag families will come onto farms. They see the Farm Bureau continuing their grassroots organizations with strong leadership, teaching, support, and technological implementations for many years to come.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Researchers at the Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, in collaboration with Iowa State University, have developed a new vaccine delivery platform to produce long-lasting protection against anaplasmosis infections. Anaplasmosis, caused by the blood-borne parasite Anaplasma marginale, is the most prevalent tick-transmitted disease of cattle worldwide and causes significant disease loss to beef producers in Kansas and across the U.S. The single-dose vaccine, which is administered in the back of the ear, has been shown to protect against clinical anaplasmosis for up to 2 years and potentially could help make controlling the disease more accessible and convenient to livestock producers. According to K-State researchers, the concept of providing cattle with a single vaccine implant that could potentially provide lifelong protection against an economically devastating disease, such as bovine anaplasmosis, could revolutionize livestock production. Iowa State University currently holds a patent for the single-dose vaccine implant platform, and the K-State and Manhattan Innovation Center is exploring a partnership with the university to further develop this technology. The first step to a commercially available product would include finding a commercial partner to seek approval from USDA.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families in rural Kansas for more than 100 years. We're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Hey guys, Colette with Paragon Ag Advisors. This week has most definitely been grabbing people's attention as fear seems to be creeping up all around the world and markets are reacting strongly. Earlier this week, we saw cattle markets go limit down and limit up on back-to-back days, only to go lower again. Soybeans took a significant hit on Monday, but recovered a little bit on Tuesday with the USDA's release of the WASDE. Overall, the report was neutral for grain markets, and it appears they will continue to trade on headlines and react to other markets. Corn has put in contract lows recently. Live cattle futures are trading below $1, and live cattle futures haven't traded over $1.15 since the end of January. The S&P and Dow also had strong reactions to the spread of the coronavirus Monday, with the Dow dropping 2,000 points, making the largest drop in history, but still not the worst day the Dow or the S&P has seen. The dollar is still trading lower, and the oil market is following suit as price wars between Saudi Arabia and Russia heat up. Now might be a good time to look into pricing fuel for some. As I said last week, we don't know how long coronavirus will last or just how big its impact on the markets will be. We hope that you're doing your best to stay healthy as you go through calving season and gear up for planting season. Remember, as you get busy, so do the markets. Stay on top of your marketing this year and get things done ahead of time. Selling your grain after you know what you have and buying a call hoping the markets go up is not a plan, it is a reaction. Visit myagadvisor.com or call 888-452-8751 to see if we can help you improve your marketing. I'm Colette at Paragon, and I hope you have a good day.
Well, that's our show this week. Be social with us online at KansasAgReport.net. Like us on Facebook at Kansas Ag Report Television Show. Follow us on Twitter at Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rahjes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.